August 4. Dear Makar Alexievich, for God's sake, Makar Alexievich, borrow some money as soon as possible. I would not for anything have asked you for help as things are at present, but if you only knew what a position I am in. It's utterly impossible for us to remain in this lodging. A horribly unpleasant thing has happened here, and if only you knew how upset and agitated I am. Only imagine, my friend, this morning a stranger came into our lodging, an elderly, almost old man wearing orders. I was amazed, not knowing what he wanted with us. Fedora had gone out to a shop at the time. He began asking me how I lived and what I did, and without waiting for an answer, told me that he was the uncle of that officer, that he was very angry with his nephew for his disgraceful behavior, and for having given us a bad name all over the buildings, said that his nephew was a feather-headed scamp, that he was ready to take me under his protection, advised me not to listen to young men, added that he sympathized with me like a father, that he felt a father's feeling for me, and was ready to help me in any way. I blushed all over, not knowing what to think, but was in no haste to thank him. He took my hand by force, patted me on the cheek, told me I was very pretty, and that he was delighted to find I had dimples in my cheeks. Goodness knows what he said, and at last tried to kiss me, saying that he was an old man. He was so loathsome. At that point Fedora came in. He was a little disconcerted, and began saying again that he felt respect for me, for my discretion and good principles, and that he was very anxious that I should not treat him as a stranger. Then he drew Fedora aside, and on some strange pretext wanted to give her a lot of money. Fedora, of course, would not take it. At last he got up to go. He repeated once more all his assurances, said that he would come and see me again, and bring me some earrings. I believe he, too, was very much embarrassed. He advised me to change my lodgings, and recommended me a very nice lodging which he had his eye on, and which would cost me nothing. He said that he liked me very much for being an honest and sensible girl, advised me to beware of profligate men, and finally told us that he knew Anna Fyodorovna, and that Anna Fyodorovna had commissioned him to tell me that she would come and see me herself. Then I understood it all. I don't know what came over me. It was the first time in my life I had had such an experience. I flew into a fury. I put him to shame completely. Fedora helped me, and we almost turned him out of the flat. We've come to the conclusion that it is all Anna Fyodorovna's doing. How else could he have heard of us? Now I appeal to you, Makar Alexievich, and entreat you to help us. For God's sake, don't desert me in this awful position. Please get hold of some money anyway. We've no money to move with, and we mustn't stay here any longer. That's Fedora's advice. We need at least 35 rubles. I'll pay you back the money. I'll earn it. Fedora will give me some more work in a day or two, so that if they ask a high interest, never mind it, but agree to anything. I'll pay it all back. Only for God's sake, don't abandon me. I can't bear worrying you now, when you are in such circumstances. Goodbye, Makar Alexievich. Think of me, and God grant you are successful. Yours, V.D.